From a doctor's perspective, it's a very difficult conversation because they can't perform surgery if the skin is likely to sag. That person is called post-liposuction.
The liposuction doctor. Is it accurate to say this is for lazy people? I've heard that before, but is it true?
It's half true and half false. I don't know how to interpret the expression, it's winter. When someone mentions they want to undergo liposuction, there are people who harshly criticize them. And there are also those who think that could be the case, right? As a person thinking about liposuction, I see many people who undergo liposuction and live with immense joy while also exercising very diligently. Because through liposuction, they gain a lot of motivation. I see many who live diligently after being motivated. Such individuals tell me, they say, avoid surgery, particularly if you weigh over 100 kilos. But there are those who come in thinking, I want to look like someone who weighs 60 kilos just by having liposuction. For those individuals, even if I do the surgery, the results are not that good. What happens is that the fat will be removed as much as the surgery allows. But if they eat a lot, they will gain weight again. In some sense, they are not lazy about eating. They are just lazy about exercising and dieting. This indicates that even if someone is hardworking, they can still gain weight, and it's not fair to call others lazy without understanding. Some people for a period may be unable to exercise due to illness and continue to gain weight. But should we really judge that person? I believe we shouldn't judge them. It's not about doing surgery for those people. Liposuction is fat that is located in parts of my body that I don't want, that disrupts the shape of my body. It addresses that. It's a cosmetic surgery. That's how you should view it.
Post-suction, the skin might look a bit loose, and some people are hesitant because of feelings like these, but do these things always happen?
For instance, if the belly sticks out like this and liposuction is done, then the muscles are located here. But the skin on the belly is loose like this. After all the fat is removed, what happens to the skin? It should pull tight and align perfectly with the muscle length. That way there won't be any sagging. Some people have lost a lot of skin elasticity, so if they gain this much weight, there's no other way. Everything will sag unconditionally. There are people like this. Certain individuals have great skin elasticity, so when they lose fat, their skin adheres tightly again. How do we handle this? Are you aware? There are machines for cancer, or through various tests, we can determine how things will go. It's hard to tell. Many individuals come back to our hospital for resurgery after their experiences. They have a misconception about that. They ought to have had abdominal surgery instead. Numerous individuals come in after only having liposuction, leading to lumps and sagging, looking for fixes. That's why. Regardless of how much you believe you know, even doctors can be mistaken. You must think about whether you need surgery or not. We can conclude that this definitely requires an incision or that just liposuction is sufficient. However, I have one tip to share. If you have many stretch marks due to pregnancy or significant weight gain and your skin is currently loose, the condition isn't good. If you see that person is very likely to experience sagging skin after liposuction. Such people will probably need abdominal surgery. It's very likely they will need it.
Doctor, liposuction creates scars, doesn't it? But they say those scars never go away, meaning you have to live with them for life.
In the case of Asians, once a scar forms, it doesn't fade easily. And if you get hurt somewhere, oh, I had an injury here before, but that scar has faded. Such people are rare. There are some, though. through squeezing. That's why to perform liposuction, incisions are made, and if skin protectors aren't used, the scars can become very visible and jagged. They won't disappear. For instance, if there's only one area, it doesn't draw much attention. But if there are scars on both sides, it becomes clear that they are from liposuction, and everyone can see that. That's why I don't make those kinds of scars, and the location of the scars is very important. If those scars are made, everyone will notice them. Some people want to show off their surgeries. Those who have had surgery can do that, but if not, I hope it looks natural and goes unnoticed. Scars must be avoided at all costs, for sure. I hope it's just the limit in one spot or in two spots. I wish it would only be in two spots, not on both sides. If it must be on both sides, I hope this scar remains hidden. I hope it can be hidden. I believe it's right to perform surgery while adhering to this principle. It's a very difficult conversation from a doctor's perspective because they can't just do it that way. If they don't want to, they can't do it.
Doctor, we have a surgery called Premium One Waist. It minimizes scars as you mentioned, but are there any other benefits? Are there no other perks?
When it's called premium, it implies that there are many advantages over regular liposuction, one of which is that there's only one scar. It implies that there's just one visible scar, but in reality, there are many other advantages too. Because it goes radially, the entire body appears slender, especially for women to look slim. You must start from the middle and do it this way. It's a difficult explanation. If there's a pelvis, it appears this way. You become slim. From the back, it should look slim from the tailbone, and if expressed with hands, it should look like this. But in many cases, if surgery is done on both sides, it only gets slim like this. It appears quite unnatural, and if you gain weight later, the shape becomes significantly distorted. And if you perform surgery like this radially, the shape itself embodies the natural slenderness I want to achieve. The most important thing is actually the number of scars. It's about having a natural slenderness, and I want to highlight that. I want it to look like I've exercised. Whether or not a shape that appears to have lost weight through exercise is achieved is what matters. The most enhanced surgical technique that mimics exercise is 5D liposculpture, which maintains the muscle shape while sculpting during the procedure. Premium liposuction doesn't preserve the muscle shape, but it removes fat in a very natural way, making it look like exercise was done. That's number one, and the second is that there are fewer scars. However, having fewer scars comes with many advantages, and there's a significant difference in recovery. The tumescent solution used during surgery also varies. After surgery, there are various differences in dressing, and the difficulties you experience before and after the operation are actually quite substantial. It would be correct to say that it greatly reduces the extent of discomfort. People who have had surgery elsewhere are often surprised, asking why it starts this way. But those who have never experienced it just come to our hospital for surgery. They might think, is this how it usually is? Usually, and then go to another hospital. Let's not discuss that, okay? When you undergo liposuction, swelling is expected since all the fat is taken out, and the body compensates for empty areas with fluid. So, swelling is inevitable. But if you consume salty foods, the swelling can be quite severe. For example, after surgery, if you only eat pumpkin porridge and avoid salty foods, and then suddenly crave kimchi stew and eat a whole lot, you'll find yourself very swollen the next morning. There are lymphatic vessels in our body that transport waste, and these vessels can get damaged during surgery. Until everything recovers, swelling is unavoidable. The first way to speed up recovery is to avoid salty foods, and the second is that proper aftercare is very helpful. There are various devices that need to be used at different stages, and hyperbaric oxygen therapy is very effective. Swelling reduces quickly like this. Depending on the treatment you receive, the swelling can vary greatly. If you do nothing and just stay still, you'll swell a lot, and if you eat salty foods, you'll swell tremendously. However, the final outcomes are quite similar regardless.